This is the 2020 GMC Acadia AT4 all-wheel drive, and today we're going to review it. Today we're working with our friends at Snell Motors in beautiful Mankato, Minnesota. Hey folks, I'm Rob.
And I'm Nathan.
And we are Two Guys and a Ride. Say, Nate, tell the folks what we're taking a look at today.
Today we are taking a look at the newly refreshed 2020 GMC Acadia, and for the first time ever on this trim level, the AT4.
That's right. You can hear everyone in the background so excited they're screaming about it. We're out of the community park, so you got kids in the background playing around. But say, before we take a look at and do the review on this vehicle, if you want to keep up to date with all the new cars, trucks, and SUVs, and you want to know how to operate all the technology that's built into these new cars, plus you like cool collector car stories,
take a moment to hit that subscribe button down below and ring that bell notification up above so you never miss a video.
That's right. So, what do you say, Nate?
Let's go for a ride.
All right.
Welcome to our how-to video on the 2020 GMC Acadia AT4 driver's information screen and infotainment screen. Okay, so on your dash you got an analog tach, you've got an analog speedometer, analog fuel gauge, and analog engine temp gauge. Down below here you have a driver's information screen that's digital, where you can manipulate and change the information that you see. Down below that you've got a digital compass, you've got your cruise control, you've got how many miles to empty, and then a two-wheel drive or all-wheel drive indicator, and then a gear selector. Back on the steering wheel here, you do have all of your cruise control here. This particular one does not have adaptive, however, it is available on non-AT4 Acadias. So this is your cruise on and off, this is your cancel, your set, and your resume. This button here, it looks like the adaptive cruise gap setter, but what it does is your collision alert distance setter. How far ahead of a collision do you want it to react and be have it warn you? All right, over on the right you've got these four buttons plus the check mark that control the driver's information center right here, and then you have a mute button for the audio, and you have a voice command which will do your phone, it'll do navigation, and it will do audio or media. All right, let's talk about the driver's information screen and what's all in here. First of all, let's just talk about the main menus here. So if I use the right arrow, okay, I'm gonna go back when you got home, information, media, navigation, phone, and settings. Okay, now each one of these, depending on the one that you're on, has different options. So under home screen, this is all I see. I don't get the ability to change anything. Up here you got your digital sign reader, your digital speedometer, and then how many miles till empty. That's all you get on that screen. There's nothing more you can do. So let's go one to the right. And here you have your information screen. And here you notice there's a line at the right. So you have quite a bit more. So we're going to use the down arrow to kind of scroll through. Some of them will have a menu with a check mark button down here. Those ones you can press the check mark and go in and do more. But let's just scroll through them first. So right now I've got speed, trip 1, trip 2, fuel information, oil life, tire pressure, air filter life, fuel economy, timer, battery voltage, off-road, and a blank page. Okay, and then you're back to speed. Now, under speed, if you can see this menu with a check mark, you press the check mark, and here I can, if I press the check mark again, I will not see the speed limit sign show up. And then I can go down here and press the check mark to exit. Now, I like having that on, so I'm going to leave it on, go back to exit, press the check mark. All right, now let's go down one screen. All I can do on trip 1 is press this check mark button to reset these things. Same with trip 2. Press that, it'll reset it. On fuel information, there's nothing I can change. This is the information that you get. Oil life, I can press that check mark to reset. On the tire pressure window, nothing I can change, but lots of information to be had there on your tires. Air filter life, again, Down here, I've got the check mark with a menu button. So if I click menu, I can reset it, disable it, or just exit again. All right, we go down to fuel economy. I do have a menu, so I can look at distance, reset best score, or exit. If I go to distance and press the check mark, okay, I can set it for 25, 50, or 450 miles. Okay, we'll leave it on 50. Okay, so it tells me the average for every 50 miles. All right, let's go, let's see, down one. Timer. Okay, I got a menu button again with a check mark. I can start the timer, reset it, or exit. So I'm just going to click on the check mark button to exit again. Go down one. Here's my battery voltage. Can't change anything there, so I leave it. On the off-road, there's nothing I can change. So here you've got your percentage of incline. This tells you how your tires are centered. So as you turn the wheel, it counts up, and it actually shows your wheels turning. Okay, and then down here you can see left or right how many degrees you're leaning. All right, nothing else you can change here. Let's go one more and you get your blank screen, and then we are back to the beginning. All right, that was all under info. Media. This is where you go if you want to listen, change your media or adjust it somehow besides just the volume or your favorites, which there are some other shortcuts for. All right, I got the check mark and the menu button. I click on it. Now I can select my media here by pressing that check mark button. Okay, go through there. And I can also browse media or look at favorites or favorite button setting. Now the favorite buttons are on the back of the left side of the steering wheel. Okay, and at any time, if you take those and you start clicking on them, you can see you're scrolling through your favorites. And what I like about it is it's your favorites from everything. AM radio, FM radio, or XM radio. It goes through all of them. All right, let's go back a page. Let's go. I'm using the left arrow to go back. All right, let's go over one to the right. This is navigation. Here you're going to get your turn-by-turn navigation if you have a course plotted in your navigation. And I also have a menu with the green circle and check mark. That means I can press the check mark and get something else. I can look at recents or I can go to favorites. So an easy way to plot a course just from your steering wheel once those things are entered. Okay, let's go over one more. I don't have my phone connected, but if I did, this is where your phone information would show up. Okay, and the final one, of course, is setting. Under units is where I can change between US and metric. Okay, or I can go down here and press the check mark and just exit. Again, the left arrow is also an exit button. Info page. Well, you remember the info page was this page. Okay, so if I go down here and I click on info page options, these are the things that are currently set. And I think they're probably, oops, they're not all check marked. I could have, let's see, follow distance right here. If I press the check mark, one appears in there. If I press it again, it disappears. So that's how you select things to show on that info page. And you can go through this whole list here and decide what you want on there or off there. You can use the back left arrow again. Home page options. Okay, home page again was this one. So if I go back here and click on home page options, I can have the speedometer on or off. And again, I'm just clicking that check mark button. I can have speed signs on or off. And I can have time, fuel range, and that's it. So I'm going to put those back on because I kind of like those. In fact, I'm going to put the clock on too. All right, now if I go back to home, okay, then I should have all those things. The only thing I don't, and there it is. There's my time. Just took a minute for the menu bar to disappear. All right. Back on settings, speed warning. If you want to be warned, like when you're going a certain speed or over a certain speed, press the check mark to turn it on, and then you can use the up and down arrows to set the speed at which you'd like to be notified. All right, I'm going to just hit here and cancel so I don't change anything. I'm going to use the back arrow to go back. Here you can get software information, and that's what's available there. Okay, on the back side, or the right side of the steering wheel, there are two volume buttons. The top one is increase, and the bottom one is decrease volume. Okay, let us move over to the infotainment screen. Okay, the infotainment screen is had a refresh. It's now you can have it as an 8-inch screen, which is what this is, and also the navigation display has been upgraded, and we'll get to that in a minute. Basically, you got 3 dots here, which indicate you have 3 screens you can look at. So let's go one to the left. All right, so this might be a typical screen you would use. You've got your media here, your phone stuff would show up here, and navigation is there. Okay, if I go over here, this is where we would start with, and there's just a few more apps on this side, including your rear climate. All right, so let's go here, and let's just look at audio for a minute. All right, so basically your sources are on the left, and you can click more to see if there's more. If my phone was connected with a cable and I had Apple CarPlay, that would show up there as well. Okay, you can change channels. Where it happened to be in Sirius XM. Okay, then you can also, once you get to where you want to go, okay, then it will start playing that. You've got a rewind button in this case. Sometimes if it's available, you'll also get a fast forward button or skip a track. You got a pause button right there. Over here on the right, you can always get to sound by clicking on that, and you can have an equalizer here for your bass, mid-range, and treble, and then you've got a fade and bounce where you can just click and drag this, or you can use the arrows. All right, and then on the very top, you have all of your favorites. Okay, and so they're a combination between your favorites, between XM radio, FM radio, and AM radio. And all you have to do is, let's go to FM first of all, and let's just go to tune. Okay, I don't know what 106.9 is, but that's what I entered. I could change it manually here if I wanted to, but I'm going to leave it right there, and I'm going to go back, and I'm on 106.9. Now I'm just going to click and hold, and now that's set. And it's the same for FM radio, it's the same for anything on HD radio, and it's the same for Sirius XM. So that's your basic setup on the media screen. So let's go to home, and let's go to phone. Obviously no information to show up because I didn't connect my phone, but basically your favorites would be under here, your keypad here, recent calls there, all your contacts, and your phone itself. And this is where you could go to connect your phone if you want to do that. Navigation, newly redesigned interface here, really nice, easy to put in an address. You can just click here, and you can look at recents, favorites, fuel, parking, food, coffee, ATMs, transit. See all the little dots up there on the second screen, third screen, fourth screen, or you can just start typing, or you can press this button for voice command, or just use the voice command on your steering wheel. So let's give this a try and see if we can find a McDonald's.
What would you like?
Find McDonald's.
One moment, please. Okay, searching for McDonald's nearby. I'm finding more than one match. Because it may take you a while to choose, please do so manually from the display.
And there you go.
Proceed to the highlighted road.
Now I like it that the cancel button is right up in here, so it makes it easy. You also have a zoom in and zoom out button right here, and then if you press on this, you can change your 3D heading up. You can show it on the map. You can do traffic events, look at the settings of the navigation, edit destinations, or avoid certain things on your route. Like if I click on that, if you didn't want to go on toll roads, you can check mark that, and we'll avoid toll roads for you. And then you can say remember this setting and click that on. All right, we'll turn that off, of course, and we'll go back here, and then if I want to cancel,
route guidance is now finished.
So that's how easy it is to plot a course in your navigation. Okay, let's keep going. You got a Wi-Fi hotspot if you want to. I believe that is through AT&T, and of course it requires a contract. Users, here's where you can create a profile that will do, it'll change according to whose profile is entered. It'll change things like your presets or your favorites on the radio, and your climate, and some of your audio stuff. So that's really nice. All right, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are right there if you plug into those. And then let's just take a look at the climate. So I don't know why they have both here, but if I press on climate, notice I get front and rear. And if I go to rear climate, I still get front and rear. So I don't know why that is, but okay. Right here, if I turn that on, all the controls show up. This is the only way to control the rear third zone of your auto climate control, unless you're sitting back there, and then you can use the controls back there. Okay, temperature, increase or decrease, fan, and then of course you have different mode settings. You could have it on auto. You can lock it so the people back there cannot change it. If you have younger kids, you don't want them changing it. And then of course you have a sync button. If you press that, of course, it syncs it with the driver settings. All right, let's go back to home and let's take a look at the camera. Now this does have a really nice rear view backup camera. It does have swivel dynamic guidelines. I can turn the guidelines off here, and if I have a trailer and I'm backing up to it, I can turn on this hitch view and it gives you this line. So if you had a hitch, it would be right there, and then you can kind of line up your trailer and the ball at the end of your trailer right to the hitch. These are really, really, really nice. And then of course you have even a more magnified hitch view right there. All right, and that's the camera system, which is just absolutely awesome. All right, the last thing then we're going to take a look at is the settings, because under settings you have system, apps, and vehicle. Under system, you can change things like the time and the date and the language, and look at the phones that are connected or disconnect your phone from the system, set up the Wi-Fi hotspot, that kind of stuff. Okay. You can also click on display and say calibrate the touchscreen in case the touch is off, or turn display off. See, there we go. A simple touch brings it back on. So let's go out of there. Then on vehicle sounds here, maximum startup volume, you can change that so that whatever is chiming at you isn't so loud. And then audible touch feedback, if you want that on, you can turn that on or off. All right, down here are ways to, you can look at the voice command system and change settings in there. And again, if you go in there, you can just click on the item. It explains what it is you're changing, and then for instance here we have slow, medium, or fast. So they've really set up nice so you can actually, it tells you what it does when you change a button. All right, apps down here, of course you have Android, you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay already installed. Here's your audio apps. You can go into tone settings, which you've already seen. You can look at auto volume. This will adjust your radio base volume based on your driving speed. Okay, and then your Sirius XM and your phone. Okay, on climate control, you've got some interesting things. First of all, you can set your auto fan speed. And when you turn the air conditioner or the heater onto auto, you can have the auto fan speed be low, medium, or high. You can have auto heated seats turned on, auto defog, and auto rear defog. So if you use the remote control and start up your car on a winter day and it's cold outside, with these settings, it will automatically turn on your heated seats in the front. It'll automatically start the defoggers in the front and the rear. Okay, let's take a look at vehicle. Rear seat reminder is just a nice safety feature. When you open the driver's door, you shut off the car, a little message pops up on the driver's information screen telling you to check the back seat, just to make sure you don't leave anyone there, but you can turn that off there if you want. Collision and detection system, so this is where your safety systems are, and any changes you want to make to those is in here. So alert safety seat, or safety alert seat. This is a haptic feedback seat, so like earlier today when Rob walked around the front, it buzzed on the left side of my seat, and when he walked over to the right, it buzzed on the right side of my seat. So it not only alerts you that something's going on, it vibrates on the side where it's happening, and this works in reverse with rear cross traffic alert as well. Okay, forward collision system right here. You've got, you can have it off, you can have it set to alert or alert and brake. And the rest of them work the same. Okay, so any one of these that has team driver, it has a valet mode. They made it so easy, folks. Just click on it. Okay, this is, you would enter a combination if you don't want a valet to have access to like volume, certain volume and everything on your stereo. You can do that, and you can do a lot with team driver. Okay, let's go back to home for a minute. And so that's the infotainment screen. The last thing I'll mention is that these are all shortcuts underneath. You notice that they have stayed on almost the entire time. So at any time you can click on navigation, phone, media, or climate without having to scroll through and find an app. These are there as shortcuts. All right, I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.